Hey, blessings, fierce butterflies. It's Coach Renee. I pray everyone is doing well on the start of this beautiful day. I wanted to come in real quick. I was on social media and I ran across a post from the Neighborhood Talk, and they posted a post from Safari. I think he's like a reality TV person. Anyway, a few days ago, there was a shooting in Chicago, and a 7-year-old little girl was murdered. And Safari posted something, and I'm going to read it. He says, quote, 7-year-old shot and killed, and it wasn't by a police officer, so what's the next step? Who do we hold accountable? Or do we pick and choose when we stand together? Disgusting, end quote. And I started watching the comments from what he posted, and of course some get it, some don't. But the majority of the posts that I was reading were the ones who were saying, "Oh boy, here we go again." I mean, people just don't understand that it's two separate issues. It's a Black Lives Matter issue, and it's a black on black crime issue. And I get that. They are really two separate things. But as a mother of a murdered son, I get it. Because my son was not murdered by a police officer. He was murdered by somebody in our own community. And I remember it was some years ago. We were, Al Sharpton was down here. It was a Black Lives Matter movement going on. And some of the mothers whose son was killed by a police officer was here. And we kind of all came together and we was having a discussion. And one of the young ladies who I was with, whose son was also murdered by another black man, was actually in, I don't want to say a debated, but they were debating it, and the issue was from this mother is, well, what are y'all pouting about? Y'all sons murderers are gonna get caught and serve time. Our son murderer will never get caught and serve time because they hide behind the badge. And I was just taking in the whole scene, and here's my thoughts on it. Here's my thoughts. Again, as a mother of a murdered son. Why can't there be an outcry for both? I know they're two separate things, but why can't it be an outcry for both? How do we get so upset? How do we ignore our children dying in the street because it's our in-house problem? I mean, why aren't we crying the same way when we cry when a police officer kills our children? I'm like this. Another thing I heard from them was, well, the police officer won't get charged because he hides behind the badge. I agree with that. But now here's the other side. Our sons and daughters, murderers, will not serve time because they're protected by the street code, which is no snitching. So yes, they may know who's doing these killings, but because no one is going to come forth because of fear, because of the protection of the code, because of whatever the reason is, they're not going to come forth. So our loved ones, murderers, just like theirs, will never be charged or go to jail and serve time for it. So we're both in the same position. But again, I'm going to go back to, why can't we cry for both? Why can't we march for both? Why can't we protest for both? Why can't we fight for both? At the end of the day, someone else is murdering our loved ones. And you know, it just makes me sad that to hear when people choose to talk about how it's two separate issues. We know that. I mean, we know that a police officer killed our loved one. Black on black crime killed our loved one. I get it, but at the end of the day, someone is killing our loved ones. And I think, you know, it should be a cry for both. If we spend all our time trying to fix this one and not give the time and attention to this one, then we're still going to be in trouble. Our children and our loved ones are still going to be dying. And it aches me. It hurts my heart every time I hear somebody say, that's two separate things. That's we got to fix our own problem. Well, we're not fixing it because we're only coming out over here. And the sad thing is, we only cry for a little while over here. And after the trial and maybe a reaction, that's it. Like, I just, it's one of them things where I get it and I don't get it. They're both protected. One is protected by the badge and one is protected by the street code. But at the end of the day, our loved ones, our sons, our daughters, our nieces, our nephews, our cousins, or our godchildren, whatever, whoever they are to us, are still being murdered. I don't see why we can't have passion for both. Cry out when the police officers do that dumb crap they do, and cry out for our children when our own people kill our loved ones. I don't see why we can cry for one and not the other. Why we can fight for one and not the other. We can protest for one but can't protest for the other. I don't get that. So, going back to his post, I get it. I get it. We got to stop picking and choosing who we're going to support when it comes to our loved ones dying. If we're going to, we got to stand for what's right. I don't care who's doing what's wrong. We have to stand for what's right. It's not right for the police officers to do it, and it's not right for black on black crime to do it. So, those are my thoughts on it. It's sad. And I think we need to get to a place where we get tired. I mean, really tired. I'm talking about being reactive. We're very reactive. We are people, we're very reactive. And we don't get angry. We don't do nothing until something happens. And then when something happens, our anger is but for a moment. And then it's on to the next. Sad. I don't pick and choose. I'm angry when the police do that dumb crap, and I'm angry when our own people do it to us. I don't know. I guess I'm among the minority, but as far as the black on black crimes and the Black Lives Matter, of course they're two separate things. Two totally separate things. I get it. I don't think we need an organization to be formed in order for us to say enough is enough. We as a people just need to come together in the streets and say enough is enough. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I just hate saying it. I hate seeing it. And I think it's one of them things, if your loved one if your child have not been murdered by somebody in the community, you wouldn't understand it. And so on that, I hope you don't understand. But for those of us who are in this same boat, I'm sure you get where I'm coming from. But anyway, y'all, let's come together. Let's come together. We as a people, let's come together and let's end it all. Let's end it all. The police brutality, killings, murders, all that. And let's start opening our mouths and opening our eyes to what's going on in our community, so that when we see something, we say something. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Thank you for listening, and that's all I have to say. Y'all, let's remember to be good to ourselves. Let's be good to one another, because it makes the world a much happier place. Blessings.